And I was just thinking about this time in my life when looking in the mirror was something that I would avoid. Like I would walk by the mirrors in my home or the mirrors at a store, and I could never actually look at myself and not pick myself apart. And I remember 10 years ago when my oldest son was 18 months older than my twins, and I just always felt this hole in my life. And I would search everywhere, like how to fill up this hole. When I would wake up, my twins would usually get up, they would crawl out of their cribs and down the stairs into the kitchen. And if I didn't get up before they got up, then they would spill cereal. They would climb up onto the shelves in my pantry and pull down all the boxes of cereal, and then cereal would go everywhere. And my son would try and help his brothers get breakfast because I didn't want to get out of bed at this and face the misery that I felt every day. I didn't want to go downstairs and take care of business, take care of breakfast. And most of the time that was because the night before, Chadwick and I were fighting. We were fighting about the fact that we never had enough money. Like money would come in and it would just slip right through our fingertips. I would never actually get to see the money. It was just exchange day. That's what we would call it. It was exchange day. Money would come in and money would go out. And I never saw it actually accumulate in our bank account. And like, so frustrating to say to yourself, how is this fair that I have to choose between being able to buy food today and buying clothes and diapers and wipes? Like, do I want to buy food or do I want to buy diapers and wipes? Well, if I don't have food, like my children are going to suffer, and if I don't have diapers and wipes, then I'm going to suffer. I'm going to be the one that has to figure out a new solution. I didn't want to do cloth diapers. I didn't want to take the extra effort. I could barely get myself out of bed. And every day I was fighting the war in my mind, like about pajamas. Because do I want to get ready? Do I not want to get ready? Do I want to make the effort? No one's going to see me anyway. Why does it even freaking matter? Why does it matter that I get ready? Chad doesn't care. When he gets home, all we do is fight. All we do is pick each other apart and blame each other for the circumstances that we're in. And like going to the grocery store was complete hell. I had a baby on my chest and a baby in the car seat and a baby running around. And then inside of my mind, that looked like if I went to the grocery store, then I had to get ready. So I just wouldn't go. So most of the time, I would send Chadwick out at like midnight after he'd been working a full day to go and get the stuff we needed because I was hiding. Because I wanted to hide all the time. I didn't want to face any reality. I didn't actually want to create solutions with Chadwick. I just wanted to fight with Chadwick because I was so freaking miserable and bored with my life. And I honestly kept saying to myself, like, is this all there is? Is this all that is to motherhood? And even admitting that to you right here on this video was such a big deal to me 10 years ago. Because if I admitted the fact that I felt out of alignment with Chrissy, you're cute. If I admitted to myself that I did not enjoy motherhood, then who the hell am I? Because for how many years have I been cramming down my throat that a good mother looks a certain way, a good mother is excited to get up in the morning, a good mother reads to her children, and we just have a happy breakfast, and we say prayers, and we read scriptures, and we have a really fun day of coloring and love, and we say kind words to each other. And I just had this picture in my mind of what a good mother does, and I wasn't that. I wanted to go out and be the CEO mom. I wanted to go conquer the business world, and all I felt was misery inside of that frame of children screaming at me all the time, and the noise like the noise of my children was so intense because someone was always screaming. Like my twins, one of them was always crying, or Pike was needing something, and just the noise alone would put me on that brink of madness. Like I honestly felt madness in myself. And I remember just climbing into this pit of pain and misery and wondering how to get out. And I knew that I had thought that loving myself was a good idea, that I would hear people say that this was a possibility, but I couldn't even see a pathway to that opportunity. All I could see was misery and pain and frustration at my life and what I had created and all the lack. All I would look for is all the lack, all the reasons why we don't have this, all the reasons why we don't have money, all the reasons why Chadwick's not making me happy, all the reasons why I'm stuck being at home trying to love motherhood when that wasn't my reality. And I didn't know what to do with myself in this situation. And what I didn't realize was all of this pain and all of this experience that I was having was positioning me to make a decision. But I was just making it so complex. And all it was a simple decision to make a choice. And I remember sitting on my bed, just crying in my pillow, and like screaming in my pillow, and then crying in my pillow, and then screaming in my pillow, and then crying in my pillow. I'm sure maybe some of you can relate. Maybe you can hit a like if you can relate to this. Because you just go from anger to frustration to like pissed off, and then sad, the self-pity, and then the mad and the self-pity, that you just like keep going back and forth, and you're getting whiplash, and then your throat tightens up, and then the tears come out, and then you're mad because you're crying. That's a whole other layer of intensity. But there was this voice. There was this voice who came into my mind. And it was this future version of me that said to me, "You are created for a purpose, and go hire a coach." That was what my answer was. And in that moment, I could feel this like connection with this future self. Like my future self came and she talked to me, and she gave me an action plan. And so I hired a coach, and I went on this journey, this process to claim my ability to love myself. And it really actually was so simple. The process was taking years for me because of all the piles of stories that I had allowed to build and around my circumstances and my experiences. But the actual choice in front of me was simple. It was to choose, honestly, to see this woman in the mirror and love her. And I went on this journey to begin to understand her and accept her and know her and love her and appreciate her. I gotta turn my boxer off. And the process and the journey, like, doesn't have to take all of us so long, because really, it's just a simple choice. It comes down to a simple choice if you will recognize your value. And why this is so significant for each and every one of you is because when you love you, you mirror to your children, your husband, more love. And so immediately, my circumstances didn't change immediately. But because I had made this simple choice to choose to see my value and my worth and go down the process of claiming that choice, I started to have new eyes. Like when you actually step over from really low self-worth to I'm choosing to see my self-worth, like all of a sudden this massive veil comes off of you and you can actually see truth. And it starts to flood in from every direction. I could actually see the way that my husband had been expressing love to me for a long time. But because I was trying to fill this hole in my life that would never fill with searching on social media, searching for someone else's experiences in life to give me some shred of motivation or shred of power that I could just hang on to today to make it through the day, like that was the hole that would never fill. And it was always bottomless. And what I was really searching for was me. So the greatest victory in Women's Empire is leading you to you. Like the greatest victory is leading the queen to her family, the queen to her king. The queen must eat first in order for this to happen. In order for her, this is my version of saying, you choose to own your worth. You choose to see your value. You choose to accept and appreciate your talents and strengths and abilities, and those never change, ever. We all have self-esteem, but do we actually have self-worth? Those are two different choices. And how do we get to choose both? And so this is definitely the principle inside of the base of Women's Empire. The voyage for my female entrepreneurs is to love themselves. And when you love yourself, even though your circumstances don't immediately change, everything around you changes. And with that change, then you actually see the changes. They actually seek you. Because when you are love, you attract love. Like money started loving me. My businesses grew. My relationships changed because I loved me. All the other resources that were available to me at all times, they started loving me too. Like I could feel that they loved me too. So there was this attraction that came into my life for more and more things. And this is the voyage. This is the most crucial mission, I feel, that is so crucial for women right now. What if all of us made a decision now, today, to choose our value and our worth and rise and pick up the crown that's already ours? It's already ours. Like the eternal queen inside of all of us, she's already there. We just get to choose to receive her, and not just pieces of her, but all of her. And we do that one day at a time, one decision at a time, multiple times a day. And when you feel the friction come in of someone challenging your self-worth, who might be your Judas Iscariot in your life, who might be representing the darkness for you to grow, that's when you get to say thank you. Thank you for showing me this piece of my value and worth that I didn't recognize, I had not fully accepted yet. So thank you for being the biggest opportunity for me to fortify this aspect of my self-worth, my value, my fortress, if you will. Because you just showed me where I was weak, and now I can choose to make that into a strength. This is such a crucial, pivotal piece of the Queen's journey, of the voyage. And these are the principles. The Queen must eat first. So I'd love to hear, like, what are you hearing for you? And how do you get to make this simple choice today, right now? what would that choice would be? If there would be one thing that you could choose to accept about your value and worth today, what would that be? Don't let it take years. Like, the time that it took me was costly. And it's actually not, it doesn't require years. It just requires a choice. It just requires a choice for you to look at that woman in the mirror and begin the process of loving her. And it's just a choice you can make right now. So if you would like to work with me and my team, we have our next Queen Eats First in September and December, and I am filling up the spots for that opportunity now. Like the war maps and the action plans that we arm you with in 5 areas: your body, your relationships, your spirituality, your identity, and your business. Like, they're unstoppable. Like, you actually get to fill that hole and build. And I grow you to another set of problems that will now become the opportunity for you to quest even bigger things and hunt bigger buffalo and become the better version of you that I already know that you are. You already are that woman. There's just pieces of you that get to accept that. So